Hello and good day, eh? Welcome to the Super Good Camping Podcast. My name is Pamela.
I'm Tim.
And we are from supergoodcamping.com. We are here because we're on a mission to inspire other families to enjoy camping adventures such as we have with our kids. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about things you can do outside the park where you're camping. That would be fun, and we've done with our kids.
When we say outside the park, it generally applies to car camping as opposed to backcountry camping, because we all know that I have backcountry camping problems.
And there's not much outside the park with backcountry.
There is not. It's a bit of a hike to the corner store. So right out of the gate, the first thing I would say is spend some time doing, Google. I belong to 8,000-ish Facebook groups that are about camping. Check them. Look for other people's sort of park reviews and stuff. They tend to have lots of great ideas in there. Google all on its own. TripAdvisor is another great site. And then when you get to the park, almost guaranteed the park paper will have all the good places to go to locally. Not necessarily the little hidden gems, but lots of really good ones. They tend to be like that. So those are great resources. And then, I would say we could share some of our the ones we've done over maybe the last 10 years, some of the places we've gone to. I'm going to turn it back over to Pamela, and she's going to talk about Killarney.
So Killarney apparently has the place that sells the world's best fish and chips. Having sampled it, we feel like maybe that was a little over advertising.
It was good. I don't know that I would say it was the best, but it was definitely good. And I can speak for having read at least 3 other people, including the guy that owns Killarney Outfitters, mentioning that they're fresh caught fish. Like they actually catch the fish in there's a river that runs up along beside there. So somewhere in that neck of the woods, and that's what they use. That's good stuff. So I will give them that for sure.
And as a coincidence, we actually ran into one of Brandon's people that he went to school with while we were there. And then the other place is Killarney Outfitters, which Tim was quite enamored with and bought a few things while we were there.
It's a bucket. Any outfitter is a bucket list place for me. I don't care. I don't. It could be. They could have like 3 things on the shelf. I want to go. Killarney Outfitters I'd heard about numerous times, and I had never been. Thomas and I had actually done a backcountry the same year. I don't know, a month earlier, maybe something like that. And we simply couldn't make it work that we had the time to go to Killarney Outfitters because they're not actually in the park. They're a little farther beyond the park when you come in from the highway. Yeah, I bought shirts. I bought fuel. I bought
little bottles to put condiments and things in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got stickers. I got free stickers. Are stuck on the canoe now.
And he actually went back the following year and bought a canoe from them.
Well, I bought the canoe in the fall, and then I had to go pick it up in the spring and then come back to Algonquin Park to paddle. That was a whacked up thing.
Yeah. Bon Echo, we went to Bon Echo, which is the closest.
Ottawa-ish.
Madawaska kind of.
Yeah, it's north, and I want to say it's north and a little bit west of Ottawa, something like that.
There, Brendan and I, because we were getting eaten alive in our campsite, we went to Bonashare Caves, which was not too far away.
Yep.
But it was pretty cool. It's kind of a guided tour down through the caves. It's not like you just go and do your own spelunking thing, but it was pretty interesting. And the Maz was one of our favorite local shops, which has ice cream, and they've got souvenirs, and they've got gear.
Yeah, they have a whole whack of, considering it was it pandemic time?
No,
it was right before it. But they had a whack of I don't remember canoes so much as stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, that sort of jazz out front. Yeah. And looking not like hardcore guy, mostly user-friendly type stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Turkey Point. That's where we went last summer. They've got a really cool, very extensive mountain biking trails all around Turkey Point.
Yeah. And so just to put it out there, some of the trails go through the park. It's a community thing. So there's lots of trails that are outside the park that also tie into the ones inside the park. It sounded like it was totally promoted by the Ontario Parks, their paper. They had a whole mapping system for it and stuff. It's a very cool. It's big, and it's bigger than the park. So and everybody uses it. It just sounds wicked. I didn't do any. I sat last year.
Nearby is Port Dover, which is a nice little town, and not such a nice little town if you happen to be there on a Friday the 13th.
It becomes busy. So same issues. Anybody who's I'm sure I did a rant about Simple Point at some point. It's not that I have anything against bikers by any stretch. I have my bike license. I rode many motorcycles. I've done the Port Dover run. It's insane. It takes over literally everything, and it's a great boon for the local businesses. They're everywhere. And as with anything, there are good people and there are not so good people. And it's it's kind of too much. Certainly for the state of mind that you're in when we were there, we're trying to be chill and camping and stuff. And it was just, they were everywhere. They were often, it was just a bit much.
So if you're not aware, on Friday the 13th, bikers converge on Port Dover, and it's a fundraising thing, isn't it?
They do wonderful things. They all kinds of wonderful charities, whether it's for kids or diseases, sight challenged people, whatever. They do so much good. It's just so, it was just insane, the number of bikes. And I don't know, it was very much a massive juxtaposition with the mind space that we were in, trying to have a chill vacation.
Well, we were actually heading home on Friday the 13th, and they were driving the other way. So it was interesting just to see how many bikes were going the other direction towards Port Dover.
Many thousands of them.
Unbelievable, yeah.
It's crazy.
Presqu'île is our most recent trip. We actually went just a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And that was when the park newspaper was really great because it had a whole page of all kinds of local things you could do. And each of the boys picked out something from the park newspaper that they wanted to do. So one of them was mini golf at the Big Apple, Big Apple is a touristy kind of place just off the highway. And it literally, you can see a giant apple, and they have all kinds of apple related products. So apple bread and apple pie and apple everything, apple butter. So people they come out with bags full of apple products. And we just went and we did mini golf and saw the petting zoo. And the other child chose Brighton Speedway, which he's really into cars. And so we went to Brighton Speedway on the Saturday night and just watched the races, it was actually pretty fun, although it smelled like a lot like exhaust.
Yeah. I stayed on the campsite and read and hung out with Farley, our puppy dog. And they came back saying, "You guys smell like you've been I don't know, standing in a parking lot with cars gunning their exhaust.
Inhaling fumes.
Yeah.
And we were all covered in dust because we happened to be right in the front row right at the turn. And so as they came around the turn, all the dust would blow up and right at us. So.
But they were all grinning with grit in their teeth. They were all grinning when they got back. So it sounded like a fun time.
Inverhuron, which is near Grand Bend. So my recollections of Grand Bend was a couple of places. There was sort of a surf shop type of thing where you could get bathing suits and you could get stand-up paddle boards, so you can get anything related to water sports. And then the other one was this little souvenir gift shop, gourmet kind of food place.
Yeah, honestly, I know we went into town. That's quite a few years ago. I want to say, that's probably about 8-ish years ago, because then we did the great big Frank family dinners. We did a couple of them. We did a Mexican night, and then we did a night where ribs and threw lobster tails in the fire. So a very decadent week. It was great. Honestly, I don't remember that much about town. I know that they had a massive place to buy wood from outside the park, because Ontario Park Woods, if you haven't heard me say it before,
wet. It doesn't burn.
It helps keep the mosquitoes down, right? All the smoke. So there you go. But yeah, they had a great place. It was not very far.
Well, the Bruce Peninsula is nearby. So if you wanted to check out the Bruce Power Station, or you wanted to go to Tobermory, that's not too far.
Not too far either. Yeah. McGregor Park, because you got
McGregor Point,
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that far either. It's cool. And just on the note of Inverhuron, they have a sideway. They have a sidewalk kind of thing for biking, but it's massive. It's really long, and it ties into the park biking trails, which the park has tons of. Just so you know, it was very cool to just sort of roll out of that, be halfway, between the park and town before I went, where the heck am I? It was cool. There you go.
And Kilbear, which actually just on our smart screen in our kitchen came up as just before we came in here, was a picture from Parry Sound. And our first dog, Cookie, was with us on that trip. And the boys were in the back of an old fire truck that was parked in the fire hall there. So remember, we did a trip to the fire hall, and the kids thoroughly enjoyed being able to go through the whole place and go and climb into the different vehicles. And one of the things we sometimes will also do, just if we're sick of eating what we planned on the menu and we feel like a change, we'll go into town and go to a restaurant. So we also did that when we were in Parry Sound. We have pictures of the kids. There was a bear statue outside the restaurant. So we've got pictures of the kids pretending that they're scared.
Yeah, it was fun. And it's always nice to see. Yeah, I love our smart screen because you get to see them back when
I'm smacking him.
Yeah, she's smacking me and she's going to edit that out. it never hurts. You're spending a bunch of money to go out and live like a hobo. Why not throw a couple extra bucks at the local economy? Go pop in, check out the farmers market or whatever. Even obviously, we talk about camping a lot. Pretty much everything is about camping. But we do go occasionally up to a cottage that my parents rent. And one of the fun things I like to do is go into the local farmers market. They do it on, I can't remember, the Wednesday or the Thursday or something like that in Gravenhurst. And, you get to go around. You get to look at some artwork. You get to get some locally made honey.
Wood carving, baked goods.
Baked goods are great, but fresh corn, like right out of a field, right, like day before yesterday kind of deal. That's awesome stuff. And you're pumping money back into that economy, much as it's only a few shekels here and there. It's a do good for every bit of society, right? Like every sort of place. Everybody needs to make a living. And if we've got a couple extra bucks here, then why not put it there? And we're going to get good, better grown, not stuff that's been shipped from Argentina, yada, yada, yada. Just saying.
That's it for us for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please do reach out to us. Our email address is hi@supergoodcamping.com. That's hi@supergoodcamping.com. We are on all the social media, so we would love to talk to you there too. And otherwise, we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.